Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Aditya Mhatre, and today we will be making this to-do list app where you can add any task you want to do, and when you're done you can just check it out or you can just delete the let's say if I want to read a book, I will add and it will be added, and the whole page is doesn't getting refresh again. So for this we will be using Mithril.js. Okay, so Mithril.js is a lightweight JavaScript framework. It's just a client-side framework where you can make a single page application, and the download size, if you can see, it is really low compared to other JavaScript frameworks, and performance is very high. For installation, you just have to set up your index.html, and if you go to the installation, there is this CDN which you will be needing to add here. I've added this. Okay, so for structure, I have given ID as root to body tag, and let me just close it. So this is our application. I'll go to the app.js and we will be start coding. Okay, so for first we have to do is getting that body element from DOM object. So document dot get element by ID, and ID is root. Okay, so we have this root element, that body elements DOM object for us. So when you want to create a Mithril application, there is a variable called m, which will object called m, which we'll be using. So there are two methods. One is render, and second one is mount. Okay, so render only renders once only. So if any changes happens, you have to refresh it, and the mount continuously refreshes, or it only refreshes a certain element which are changed. So we will be using mount here also. Okay, so for mount we have to give a parent element or node which is our root, and next we have to give a attribute value, and in that attribute we have to give value to view. So view is basically whatever we will return to view, that will be shown on our application. So in view I will return a function. I will write a function which will be returning another Mithril object. This time we'll just write this, and we will let's say have this element. We will be creating that whatever tag you are creating, you have to give it as a first argument. So I've created main tag. Then secondly, you can give any attributes. If you want to give any attributes like style attribute, any attribute of that that tag or properties, you can give it inside this curly braces. And next you can give a child. You can give the value of that. Let's say hello world. Okay, so yeah, it's printing hello world. And if you have multiple other tags inside that of this element DOM object, then you can use this square braces and give it inside that. Okay, so for to do that, we will have a input, a button which will add, and inside below that we will be having a list of elements, lists of anything those tasks which we will be creating. So I will inside main tag I will go and create div in which I will be having my input and button together, and another div in which we will be having all these list of items. Okay, so let me just go and okay, so we will be also giving this scope. We are not using this scope anywhere inside our project, but make a habit that you always give a scope. Then you can use this DOM tree, and you can access the DOM objects from this scope. So I will just will leave it there, and we will be creating our next element. So I have created this main, and inside that main I have multiple childs, and first child, our child will be, so any tag you have to create, just put it in this m method. So okay, so I will be creating div, and I will okay, so comma attributes. So I will give one attribute, that is id, and let's name this input wrap, because it will have our input element and the button. So input wrap, and our child will be two items, that is input tag and button tag. So I will be creating a list of items. So m, again you can give here input tag of type text, or you can just give the type is equal to text in id, or you can give it like this. So this will be easier, and let's go. You can also give this input wrap here, and it will be same, because just CSS selectors. Okay, we have created the input of type text. I will be giving this let's say a placeholder, so user will know what we have to type. I will give it a placeholder like enter a task. Okay, okay, I have forgot to give a comma here. Okay, we have placeholder and input tag. We don't need any value currently, and we can't give value. We can give value, but input tag doesn't have a value tag, because it is always a closed tag. But we will be needing other like let's say I have to give id here. So in CSS we can access it when we are doing styling. So let's say task in for task input, then the value. Okay, so inside the value we will be having nothing right now. I will just give a, let's say, variable task. We will create a variable here. Okay, task, we don't have any value in it, but this task variable will be handling our changes of that input, and the input will be stored in this so that we can access it later. Okay, so and this, and we also have a function of on input. So whenever the input is given, we can just use this method, whatever we are writing inside it. Okay, so whenever our input is change, I want to change the value of task variable, so that will be this dot value. Okay, so if I write let's say Aditya, the variable of task will have value Aditya. Okay, so there's that. This is our first element, and then we want to have button. So I will create a button, let's say with add as a input id. Sorry for that. Okay, so button, and we will be having an attribute again, let's say on click function. On click function, and whenever the user clicks on that button, it will be added to the list of the task. So for the list of tasks, I will just create a variable name task array. So if user enter task and clicks on this function button, this function will add the task inside that of that array. So then there will be task array dot push task. So whatever value is inside the task, that will be added in this task array. But if there is no value and user clicks on that button, it will add a blank value. So we will just add a, let's say, condition in if task. If there is a value for task, then we will add it inside the array, and we'll have task as this, so that for new entry, the input tag will be blank. Okay, so we have created this. Let's say, okay, it is not showing anything. So where are we wrong? And okay, so I had given the equal to sign instead of this colon. So there's that. And okay, so we have our input tag and our button. It doesn't have anything inside button of right now. Okay, and as we said, we have created our input wrap, and next thing we want is our list of tasks. For that, we will create another div with let's say id task wrap. Okay, task wrap, and for that we will let's say inside that we want to have elements. Okay, so let's say div of class task and the value of the div, let's say sample. So we want those in this way. Okay, so this is, but we want to get these values from this task array, and we want this to be a dynamic. So what we will create here is, I will remove this and I will just call out our task array, and I will map those elements of inside of this task array with, let's say, data, which is of the value, and index, which will give us the elements index. We are getting index because we want, whenever we want to delete an item, we will be needing the index of that that item. Okay, so this, and I will create a function here called a new task, and we will be passing it those values. So I'll create this function here, function new task, which will be giving getting the data of those task, which will be just task string, and the index, sorry. Okay, so what our function will do is that whenever we call this function, it will return this with here I'll just add data. Okay, but it will do nothing because we want here like DOM object. So I will list a blank list and we will concat it. So the whenever a new object will return, that will be concatenated with this. So it will be added, not it will not delete the previous element and replace it with that. So we will concat it with value of whatever will be coming from this function. Okay, so there's something wrong in here. Let's see. Okay, task array is undefined. Okay, so task array is undefined because we don't have any value in it right now, and it wants the value. So I will just go and give some value here. We'll be changing the code later. So okay, so now we have a sample value, let's say I type Aditya, it is adding this, but we don't want this sample. So what we will do is I will just remove this, and here we go. Before it was giving the error because our variable wasn't defined, so it was didn't know that it was a array element. So that's that. But now we can see that it is only adding this variable value, but I also want the button to delete that task, and also checkbox so that I can check it. Okay, that I have done the task. So what I will do is I will remove this, and I will create a children inside it, 3 children that will be input, sorry for that, inside these quotations, input of type checkbox. That will give us a checkbox, and it will not have any value or attribute currently. Then there will be a span of let's say class title, in which we will be showing our value of task, and third will be button, let's say of class delete, and it will have an attribute of on click function. Okay, so on click, whenever we'll clicking this button, it will call a function which will do task array dot splice index dot 1. So okay, so what this function is doing, this is our array, we are calling this splice function. What will splice function do? It will remove the element of that index, and I have given 1, so it will remove the element at that index. If I give 2, it will remove element with that index and element after that. Okay, so it will whenever I click this button, it will remove the task. Let's say let's see if it's working. Okay, so I have added Aditya. Okay, so this is button to delete. So this is checkbox, you can check. If I click on this, it will delete. Okay, let's add multiple values. Aditya, Mhatre, say Advait. Okay, so Aditya have the index of 0, Mhatre has index of 1, and Advait has index of 2. I want to delete element at first index. I will delete this, and Aditya and Advait remains. Okay, so this was the application or part of the Mithril.js as done. So you can see it is really easy to do this, and it is also fast. Okay, and now we'll be just doing this styling for our project so that it will look nice. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so for the body, I'm giving a height of 100 VH. So it will take all the available height of currently displaying, and width of 100 VW. Okay, then margin and padding will leave it as 0. Background color I want of, let's say, okay, so I have value of this F1. Sorry. So this is a slightly off white, and then display we'll be using Flexbox, so I can have this advantage of Flex. If you don't know what is Flexbox, you can check out my tutorial of basic of Flexbox. I have done that. I will leave it in this I button here. Okay, I will be justifying this content to center. Okay, so everything is at a center now. Okay, in our main tag I want display again as flex because there are multiple elements and I want to keep that element in a certain position and certain way, so I am using Flexbox again. Then flex direction, here I want column. Then I will align the items to the stretch, and I will add the padding at top here with 25 pixels, so there is some space in between the top and that it will look nice. So input wrap. So okay, so in our input wrap we have an input tag and a button. So for that also I am using display flex box. Okay, here I will have a flex direction of row. So if even if I don't give it the default value is row, and I will align the items to stretch. Okay, so both of these have the same height now. Then we have task input, that is input tag, and the button. So what was the name for the button here? Add. Okay, so we have add. We don't want any border, so I will give it to none. Say background color. Okay, so I will have this background color here 313E4F. So it will add this background to both of them. Then we will just change the background of button later. Okay, color, we will have white color as a text. For text we don't want any outline, so whenever we focus, if you can see, it have this glow here and it can increase the height of that. So if you can see, the both are not of same height now, so I will have outline of none. Okay, so there won't be any difference between their height. I will add padding, so it will look nice, of 10 pixels, and width of 500 pixels, let's say. Okay, this looks nice. Okay, so for especially for add, I will have background color of 20D2AE, so it's nice greenish color, and width of 40 pixels. Okay, so have that. Also let's see, we want a color of white also in that. It will be white because we are given here it here. Okay, and for delete, so we also have delete button. In that I want to have same like this, that color will be white, outline will be none, and also border will be none. And I want a background color of E04B4B, so it's a reddish color because it is a delete button. Okay, and let's say for add, I will add after here, so I want the plus sign over there. So can have the content and this. So it will just add a plus button inside it. Okay, there. And let's say font weight folder. Okay. And we also want same thing for delete, but inside we want a minus or let's say cross button. Okay, so for cross we have 29 to C. Let's see what. Yes. Okay. So we have done with our input wrap, but inside that of our it's a task wrap. I want this to have for task. Let's say padding 10 pixels. Background color of white in chart. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, that and display flex and align items stretch. What happened here? Did we give? Okay, sorry for that. I forgot this dot here. We are calling class. Okay, so we have to write this, and let's say justify content of space between. So it will separate out those. So I want the I don't like the font here, so I will just change the font. Okay, let's see. For all, I want the font of 18 pixels or 1.2 EM for Helvetica. If that doesn't apply, then Arial type sans serif. Okay, so this font looks nice. You can check it here or delete it. Then I can add another values by grocery. Okay. So there's that. So thank you for watching video. I'll be doing more of this Mithril.js tutorial in the future, and if you like this video and if you have learned anything in this video, give it the like, and if you want videos like this, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching my video again, and have a nice day.